So leaving that behind. Your karma are things you cannot escape. They are your works. They are rewards of past lives. They could be positive, they could be negative. There is something I've been taking for granted as I took this on. Reincarnation is the foundation of karma. For anybody to think that there is no karma, that person must also accept, of course, that there is no reincarnation. If you check people who always kick against karma, you are going to find out that they are taking off from that point, that there is no reincarnation, because it's an attempt for them to escape the inevitable. And mark you don't have to believe in karma for it to rule you. The laws of karma are inviolable. They are ruling. They are the laws of your action, the laws of your life. You determined that these things are good, they are important to you, and you did them. Now, karma simply states that there is an action, there is also a reaction. There is a cause, there is a consequence. There is an act, there is an effect. You throw stone in water, there will be ripples long after the stone has settled. Right? You look right into the eye of the sun. Long after you remove your eyes from the sun, you are still blurred. You are still hardly able to see clearly. Why? Because the act of looking is the act. The effect is the blurring. You can't stop the effect. So, if anybody tells you that there is no karma, fine. They are simply saying that people can do this and get away with it. Nothing will happen. The fact that nothing happens to somebody in this lifetime for what the person has done doesn't mean that there will be no consequences, because they are stored for that person. They are recorded. Who is recording this thing? You yourself. Your mind is recording them. Don't forget that everything you have ever done in this world are stored by your mind. They are in your memory. And those ones that you have identified with as very important, as integral to your life, you see it as equal to you, one-on-one relationship with them, those ones are in your identities. They are all there. And there are levels of identities from the lowest to the highest. We are struggling. We are working hard to make our identity one with our true identity. That single true identity that connects with our true origin. That is the great one. They call that the cheetah. Once you connect with that one, you are elevated. You become a God man, so to say. Okay, let's call it, you become a Superman. Now, pre-lapse karma, have I spoken enough of that? It's a deep thing. There are things that people cannot really just escape. But don't worry, I will give you more later. Then we have the Kriyama karma, which has to do with your daily karma. This is where it goes. Now, these are actions that you carry out now, and they bring out consequences that you suffer also now. Now, all karmas, be they pre-lapsed, which is destiny karma, or Sanchit, storehouse karma, were created at the level of the Kriyama. They were karmas that we created while we were alive. Our daily activities created them. Our thoughts, our energies, our emotions, and of course our words and our physical actions created this karma. Now, it is the mercy of life that all the things a human being does are not visited upon that human being at that time. Because if they were visited, your present life will be nullified. Because the consequences are so much. So life says, okay, you know what? He has come to this life. The karma he brought to this life is the karma of wealth, the karma of beauty, the karma of goodness. Because he has done this goodness, he has done this beauty in previous life. He has come to enjoy them in this life. Therefore, his current actions are showing that he should be made crippled, he should be made blind, he should be made deaf and dumb, he should be made stupid, he should be made... His actions are pointing to those things, because he's maiming people, he's teasing the blind, he's oppressing the weak. Therefore, he should be weak himself, he should be blind himself, he should be crippled himself. He has no respect for this kind of people. But they say, okay, but this life, it was not supposed to be this. Then they are stored, packed, and kept aside for the next life. And that next life, he must come. He must live that next life, and he will come back suffering the things that he punished other people on. If he misused a crippled person because the person was crippled, He might come back in the next life crippled. We are talking on Kriyama now, which means the things you do right now can bring about your karma. The things other people do against you right now can bring about negativity on your life. You know that. So a nurse in the hospital who is ill-trained, distempered, and attempt to give a young baby an injection can destroy a major vein, and that child becomes crippled. It doesn't mean it is the karma of that child. Who created that action is the nurse on duty, and the people, the organizational structure that allows such a nurse to work in the hospital created that karma against that child, and that child must pay back to that nurse and to all the people that work in that hospital. That is how the law of life or the lower universe works. One way or the other, the child might come back in life later and ends up against his or her will crippling these people, paying them back in their own coin. Anybody who understands the laws of karma will understand that there is nothing to be taken for granted. Every single action. See, you just walking on the street and looking at people and smiling at them, blessing them, calling them good things, wishing them well. You are wishing them great things. So when you find out somebody, you are working with somebody, people just love him. People just love her. They are moving from place to place. They are getting positive attention. A place you went to, you were not permitted entry. You went with this person, the person is giving red carpet. And this person does not know these people at all, but they are reverencing him, reverencing her, giving them all the kinds of attention deserving of a king. And you wonder how it is karma at work. People have that aura. They call it aura. Now, it's not every one of them that is karma of past lives. It can be karma that you created in this present life, which is the Kriyama type of karma. So every time you meet people, you are creating karma. It's a karmic opportunity. Okay? Now, there is also another level of life we're talking about. Talk about the Neh-karma level. The Neh-karma level is that's Neh-karma, is that you do things without incurring karma at all. How does that happen? Because karma on its own is actually like Lord Krishna will say, good karma is a golden chain. Bad karma is a chain of iron. What does it mean? That these things hold you down in the lower universe. They are the things that bind you to the cycle of birth and death. Birth and rebirth is the wheel of time. All right? Karma binds you to time. With karma, you cannot go into eternity. All right? There is time, there is eternity. Eternity is the father of all. It is the Almighty. It is the source of all beings. Time is an interpretation, a misinterpretation of eternity. It is an attempt to mimic eternity without being subject fully to eternity. That's what creates time. And those who are into mysticism will tell you that time is a person, just as eternity is a person. We see time as the negative power. So the law of karma was created by time in order to create a sense of continuum on the planet, because he fears in the entire universe, because that entity fears that if all people were karmaless, as soon as they die, they will just go straight to the higher world, to God, and be lost forever from him. And he fears that if this thing continues, souls will be empty in his universe, and then there will be no more life, because souls are the seeds of life. With souls present in the universe continues. You get it? So he created that law that if I gave you a glass of water, you must pay me back that glass of water. If I don't get paid back that glass of water, I will never cease to roam in the circle of life, the circle of birth and death and rebirth and all of that. Now, if somebody slaps me, I must retaliate that slap. Maybe the time the person slaps me, I was powerless, I couldn't retaliate. Therefore, I must come to a point in time where I will be able to slap that person. So, anything that people give you, nothing is free in this universe. Remember that. If somebody is so nice to you, remember that the person is either paying you back a niceness you had done to that person, either in this life or in the previous life, or you are going to pay back, because that action of giving and you receiving has opened a new account, which is karmic. You get it? And if you did anything for anybody for free, you are also going to get paid back, because by that good deed, you have opened a karmic account of good. Now, this is another thing about karma. Anything you do for somebody or to somebody binds you to that person in the cycle of birth and deaths, in the cycle of birth and rebirth. Because what it means is that if the person does not pay you in this lifetime, the person must pay you back later, which means you are bound to that person. Wherever the person goes, you follow, so that the opportunity for payment can be established. So in birth, your father, your mother, your siblings, they are all part of your karma. They are part, you brought them. They came ahead of you and you came to meet them. There were things they owed you that they are paying you back by raising you. Some children are born with so much pains on the parents. They suffer a lot of things. Why do you think it's so? Some other children are born with so much ease. Like my mom would say to me, son, when we had you, things were so good. He kept telling people, I hear her tell people, and she has also told me one-on-one, that if the way she had me was the way other children were to be had, childbirth would have been the easiest thing in the world. She didn't feel any of the pains. My birth didn't bring sorrow or pain to my mom. My mom and my dad kept telling me that they were so prosperous in the time I was born. Okay? My brother and I, Christopher, is now late, God bless his soul. My father bought his first car the year I was born. It was a Vauxhall. And he actually showed me the car, the windscreen on his table. After we were born, things were looking good. That same period, he also had an accident and the car was totaled. The only thing he salvaged from that car was the windscreen, and he kept it on his desk till he died. He kept making reference to it. You get it? So what I'm trying to say in essence is that your birth is also part of your karma. It's a great part of your karma. It's a preparation of the ground. So some people, by their birth, you will know what their karma looks like, whether they are going to have a very hard life or a soft life. Some people can develop hard life based on the traps that are set for them by the negative power, or by the negative power, using people around them. For example, you say you are born into a family of witches. Who told you that it was by accident? It's not by accident. You were born there because you owe them a price and you must pay. They will push you towards it and you will pay. My friend, karma is not a topic that can be exhausted just like this. Maybe I will cut it into 10, 12, thereabout minutes so that people can actually watch it in details.